Welcome to the Dalen Show. How you doing, world? So good to see you guys as always. Can you believe it? Episode number 18. Only two more to go after this. Thank you guys for continuing along to be a part of the journey this year. It's been a really just grateful experience. Season 4 has been. It's just been a lot of growth and a lot of journey. So I thank you guys for continuing to stick with us this journey. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. And enough talk for me. Let's introduce our guest for this week, Miss Alexis Pierce. Woo!
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Of course. First of all, I want to say thank you for joining me and just kind of how is everything going in your world right now?
Everything's been going good, man. Just working, progressing, trying to be the best person I can be. Nothing too crazy, just honestly, just grinding right now, just in grind mode. That's what I like to call it. So,
I got you. Real quick, Alexis, for people that may not be familiar with who you are, if you don't mind, just for people watching and listening, to kind of give them a brief overview about who you are, just maybe where you're from, just what you're doing now in your career, and just some things you've been able to do across your lifetime to get you where you are today.
yeah, for sure. I'm Alexis Pierce. I am a former athlete. Played at Jacksonville University for 4 years. Then I transferred to Tennessee State. Got my master's degree from there. Like I said, I'm a hooper. I played for both Jacksonville University and Tennessee State. I later on, after that, went to intern with the SEC. Currently, my role is with Athletes Unlimited as a social media coordinator. So I'm a post in my career as a former player, current professional in sport, if you will. My social media handle is Alexis Pierce TV across all platforms. So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, it's pretty much a little bit about me.
Where, growing up in Savannah, Georgia, where did your love come of basketball come from? Was that something you picked up at a young age? You kind of got into it in a later age. Where did your love for basketball come from? And as well, when did you kind of start realizing that you could actually be good at basketball and get to the next level?
Sure, yeah. So I grew up with two older brothers. I was the only girl in everything. So my brothers would play sports, whether it been football, basketball, baseball. I was always the little girl who was running around trying to beat up everybody, all the boys, beat up all the boys. So I never really wanted to do ballet, cheerlead. My mom always tried to make me do stuff like that. And it just really wasn't my cup of tea. Like I was a tomboy growing up, and I just wanted to be like my brothers. So they molded a lot into me in terms of playing sports in general. I played a lot of sports growing up. Played softball, played basketball, played soccer. I played pretty much everything, but it kind of basketball kind of stuck with me. I played travel ball, and I was like, when I was in high school, I was like people wanted me to play for their high school. Like coaches would like kind of recruit me, which was kind of illegal at the time. So it was just like I was in middle school at the time. So I'm like coaches would call me and be like, or my parents and be like, hey, I want Alexis to come here, even if it wasn't my home school. So I was like, that's when I knew I kind of could play at the next level because when I got in high school, I started in high school as a freshman and I started to put up big numbers as a freshman. And from there, I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And then I started playing travel ball, and that's where the bulk of my offers came from. And that was just only 1 year of playing travel basketball because out of Savannah, you don't really get a lot of looks coming from colleges. So you
Yeah.
have to go to Atlanta. You have to go to places that's not Savannah to kind of get seen because a lot of coaches not going to Savannah because it's not really what it's known for. A lot of people don't come out of Savannah. So from there, I got a lot of offers, and then I decided to go to Jacksonville University, which is only 2 hours from Savannah. Luckily for me, since I am very close to my family.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, so, but just my love for basketball came from my brothers. Just watching them grow up and play the game and just have a passion for it. That just really instilled that into me. Just that competitiveness more so than anything. Like even till this day, I have just like a fiery competitiveness about me. And I just owe it really all to my brothers and my dad and my mom. Like they shaped me as being the youngest in the
Mhm.
family. So it just kind of worked out in my favor. I was able to play collegiately, and now I'm able to do it in my profession as well, and kind of teach the youngers growing up. I coach as well, so that's just been something that has always kind of been instilled in me. So it's been cool.
What was your recruiting process like? I know you kind of just dibbled at it there for a second, but what was your process like? Maybe what was your first offer, and kind of what made Jacksonville be the final destination for you, maybe over other schools?
I think my first offer, if I'm not mistaken, was Austin P. I think that was my first offer, and then I started to get other offers from mid majors, a couple higher majors as well. But really, stuck what stuck out for Jackson for me is Coach Yo. I played for the Celtics, so they had a connection. My AU coach and her had a connection as well. So it kind of worked out for me because it was close to home, and then I was able to play under a black head coach, and something that's always what I wanted to do. A female at that. So and her drive and her attitude, her championship attitude, and they had won the ASUN the year before then. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm in a perfect environment. I'm 2 hours from home. We're in a winning environment. The campus was nice. I was able to learn a lot from Coach Yo, knowing that going into it. So when I went on my visit, it just felt like home. I was the only freshman she recruited, which was like, I had no freshmen coming in with me. It was like a majority veterans there. Like everybody who won a championship before then was returning as seniors. So I was literally the only freshman coming in, it wasn't intimidating, but it was like, now that I look back on it, it was more so like a learning experience and being able to learn from that veteran group. And a lot of those girls are still my sisters to this day. So it kind of worked out for me. But probably the main reason I went to JU was for Coach Yo. She's just a trailblazer for the women's basketball community. She's a winner, a proven winner. You see what she's done at Ole Miss. You see what she did at JU. She can literally build a program from the ground up. So I just wanted to kind of follow in her footsteps and kind of be a part of what she was building. But obviously, she later on went to Ole Miss, and she obviously has success there. So I was able to be under Coach Haney, who's now the head coach at Georgetown. So he's doing well as well. So everything just kind of honestly worked out for me.
Yeah.
Just in terms of being under some really proven head coaches who have families themselves, who have little girls who want, to pave the way for young Black females. So it was good for me, and just having those connections as an adult now, it was good. Like now, at the time, I'm like, I never knew how my future would shape out how it is now, but it worked out for the best. So
Yes, ma'am. Two of my favorite people, and two people that I've had great conversations just about basketball with, are Coach Yo and Coach Haney. What was it like playing under Coach Haney? I know he has developed his name very bigly over the last year during his time at Georgetown. Just kind of talk about your relationship with him and what he meant to your game.
oh, for sure, Coach Haney he's a great guy. He's a father. He's a husband. To Miss Aaliyah and his three children. KK, Iman. Like, we literally is like a family. Like to this day, like I saw him. They played Georgetown played Kennesaw last year, and I'm not too far from the Kennesaw area, so I came and watched them to watch them play. That just goes to show. I say all that, it just goes to show the relationship that I have still to this day with Coach Haney. But even as a player, like obviously he coached tough, and that's what all coaches should do. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I knew I could go into his office and talk about whatever it is that I needed to talk about outside the court. He trusted me a lot in terms. I mean, I was a captain for him my last year. We had a lot of conversation just about my just post school, post education, post college. So he knows what it is that I want to do, and he kind of set me up for that ultimately. So I don't know. We have a good relationship. We have a good, even to this day. I know it'll continue on as the years progress. So he's a great guy. I mean, obviously, like you said, what he's done at Georgetown his first year, and that's just how things work out in his favor too. Like he was able to take that team and do a lot with them that they've never done before. I think first appearance in the Big East championship, like playing against UConn. That's just a testament to who he is and to what his relentless pursuit of being a coach and just instilling relentlessness into his players. That just kind of just a tribute to who he is and the type of coach he is. So that's the same thing he did for us, and I know he'll continue to do as his coaching career progresses as well. So
If you don't mind, could you give a piece of advice to young ladies listening or watching that are maybe trying to aspire to reach the next level of their basketball careers or trying to make it to another level of any terms of basketball? What advice would you give to them just based off everything you've learned and done to kind of help them pursue the career that they may want to love?
Yeah, for basketball particularly, basketball or any sport is unique. I mean, this that experience and that time that you get to learn, embrace it. Even as a professional now and as an adult now, I've utilized a lot of what I learned as an athlete in my day to day, like more than I do with what I learned in math and English and language arts or whatever the case may be. Like I learned so much being an athlete,
Yes, ma'am.
time management, punctuality, being able to think quick on my feet. Being able to pivot through certain situations in my life, all those things just stem from me being able to play the game that I love, and then on top of that, just put everything into it. No, don't take anything for granted because in a blink of an eye, you'll be 25, being a professional playing bills, man. Like it's life is short. Take everything, take how everything how it's supposed to be. Put everything in it. Put your all into everything that you're supposed to do. If a coach tell you be coachable, if a coach tell you do something, do it. Like they have your best interest at heart. But I would just say just don't take anything for granted because life comes quick and you don't want to look back and be like, man, I should have, could have, would have
Yeah.
done this, and you can't get that back. Time you did something that's so precious you can't get back. So I would just say the main thing is just put your all into everything that you do, and don't take it for granted. That's probably the biggest thing. That's probably what any athlete will tell you because it does. It goes quick. It goes really quick.
Thank you for sharing that. What was your transition from high school to college like? And I say that just in terms of being a college student, and as well, what was maybe the transitions from just what high school basketball was like compared to what college basketball was like?
Oh yeah, it's night and day in terms of just the being a high school athlete. It doesn't compare to being a college athlete. I mean, just the leniency of being in high school is, is not quote unquote taken as serious as if you're in college. I mean, this is what they brought you here to do.
Yes,
High
ma'am.
school is more recreation.
Yeah.
It depends on what high school you go to, obviously. But just the speed of the game, just the ins and outs of just everything. Honestly, it's not the same as being in high school. I mean, you don't have to think as much being in high school. You just kind of hoop, um, kind of what you call hoop it up in high school. We didn't really have that many plays. It was just kind of out there going, hey, get a bucket. That's really what it was for me in high school, especially like I said, it depends on what high school you come from. But most of the time we didn't really have plays. So I had to learn plays. I had to learn why we did certain plays. I had to learn blobs, which are baseline out of bounds. I had to learn sideline out of bounds plays. We had to get a booklet of plays. I had to know the plays. Like there was a lot going into it, especially as a freshman, not knowing all this stuff. And then on the other end of it, people don't put into consideration the strength, having strength to do that as well, like lifting weights, being in shape. That has a huge part to do with playing in college.
Yeah.
We didn't really do that much in high school. We didn't lift weights. We didn't run. I mean, I kind of did that on my own. That's another
Hmm.
thing too. It's probably something I should have said. Do more than what it is as expected of you.
Yeah.
At your high schools, if talking to the young girls, at your high schools, if you don't do the lifting, don't lift weights, if you don't run, if the coach doesn't tell you to do that, you should do that on your own if you want
Hmm.
to pursue the next level. Because that's not something should no one should have to motivate you to do or what it is you're supposed to do anyway. But to go back to what I was saying, yeah, it was night and day for me. Like I said, we didn't really lift weights, we didn't do agilities and stuff. I really had to take focus on that when I got in college. I actually really found a love for lifting weights and really getting strong and getting in shape because once you're in shape, your mind is easy after that. Everything is just a matter of knocking down shots, just being focused. When you have another variable, which is not being in shape, to hold you back, that you're already lost. You're already lost.
Yeah.
So getting in shape, strengthening your muscles, eating right, all that plays a part into it. And then at the same time too, you got to be able to in college. You got to be able to manage that. You got to have you want a social life in college. Obviously, you want to you got to have your education, and then you also are a basketball player or you're an athlete, whatever the case may be. So you have all these variables that you have to really be a plus student at. You can't fall off in the classroom because you're not going to be able to play. You
Yeah.
can't be doing anything in your social life because you have a brand to withhold. Not only are you representing yourself, but you're also representing your university, you're representing your family. So just knowing that in the back of your mind, it's not just doing anything in college just because you have freedom. No, you're there for a reason. You're getting paid to play. Ultimately, they're paying for your scholarship for you to be able to produce. So for me, is I've always had that mature aspect about me, so it really wasn't hard for me to adjust to
Mm-hmm.
college in terms of just like the social life education, because that was something that's kind of instilled in my household. You got to have your education before you do anything. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just more so just getting shots up outside of practice, doing the extra work, going watching film with coach, or asking my teammates what it is I need to do, whatever the case may be. That was just really my goal going into college. I always want to be the best, the best player I can be, the best teammate I can be. That was also very crucial. People just think being putting up shots or scoring the most points is what it is to be a good teammate. No, you got to be a good teammate off the floor too. Just always having that open door policy when it comes to your teammates. Just being at like at the end of the day, you spend a lot of time together. So a lot of times you hear teammates call each other sisters. I mean, at that point, you spend nearly months and months together. So just having that good teammate aspect of it as well. So I mean, it's a lot of variables that come into playing at the collegiate level that a lot of people get and a lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
You can sit back and analyze it as I often do now as an adult and kind of look back at my collegiate career. So you can take it however you want to take it, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, just know that it doesn't come back once those 4 or 5 years are up.
Yeah.
Nowadays with NIL and transfer portal, I'm pretty. It's like 6 and 7 years now. But my 5 years, I really enjoyed, and I met some good people along the way, and I don't have any regrets about it for me.
Yeah.
So.
Growing up, or even now, who have been some of your favorite players to kind of just maybe watch, maybe try to take things from their game and implement it in yours? Who have just been some of the players you've kind of watched and just kind of enjoyed sitting back and watching their game?
Yeah, for me growing up, my favorite player was like Kevin Durant, Candace Parker, just because they were like longer guards.
Hmm.
I'm not tall, but I'm a longer guard. Just kind of watching them and see how they get to their spots. Those are some of my favorite, definitely some of my favorite players growing up. Maya Moore was one of my favorite players growing up. Now, I mean, honestly, I just watch ball. Like I don't really have favorites. I don't have a favorite team. I don't have uh favorite players, anything like that. I just watch a lot of ball. But I mean, I will say, just kind of watching this season of WNBA, Arike probably one of my favorite. Like, she's been not probably this year so much. I don't know they've been on I think they're like bottom in the league right now. And I know the Wings are they, but no, they've been. She's been one of my favorite players. Just how she an outside dog, like Coach Haney like
Yeah.
to say. And that's something I always admired about her. Who else? I've found a like for Kelsey Plum. I like the way she hoops. She's super relentless, super fearless. Obviously the Asia Wilsons, but I'm not a post player, so I'm like
Yeah.
trying to show love to my guards. But obviously Asia Wilson is an MVP hands down. Loving the way Angel Reese is kind of growing into the game. But I mean, honestly, I just watch ball. I don't really have like favorites for real. But like I said, growing up, I like KD. I like Candace. So those are my two.
I love that. I love the Enrique shout out, even though my Wings aren't doing too hot this year.
Yeah,
It's
they're
all good
not
though.
doing too hot right now, but it's all good. Bounce back next year.
Yeah, I want to ask you, because you're still heavily a part of sports, and you were a part of the women's college basketball world that has now evolutionized to reach the heights it's never seen before. Just for you, what's it like to kind of just see women, and not just of basketball, but of all sports, just kind of get the recognition and respect that you guys have deserved for such a long time?
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, it's been a beauty to watch, honestly. Just just being in it, and being a part of it when I was hooping, and just seeing like this is a 3-year just evolution that has happened for women's basketball. Like, is something that's obviously it's been well needed and much deserved. It should have been like that way, but hey, it is what it is, obviously. But I mean, it's honestly been a beauty to just kind of see like all women just put on the pedestal, be be able to use their platforms in a way that they haven't been able to use it in the past, being able to use their voices in a way they've never, I'm gonna say they've never been able to use it, but it's more sought after. People want to know what women's basketball is talking about. People want to know what women in general are talking about. When you look on, we turn to ESPN, you don't see just guys sitting on the table and hosting stuff anymore. Like, these are like women are doing that, and we want more women, and it's a call out for more women now, because they realize, like, the world has realized, okay, we should have been doing this. Like, this is where it's at. But like I said, man, it's been a real treat just to see women getting the recognition that we so rightfully deserve. Man, like the company I work for now, Athletes Unlimited, just seeing sports like softball, sports like lacrosse, volleyball that don't really have those professional leagues, like just being able to see their platforms grow and them play at the highest level. And even with this Olympic season, like you see everybody, all the women's basketball players who's gotten on, and all the controversy that is brought. Although it's sometimes controversy and it's conflict, it's like at least they're talking. You know what I mean? So I'm loving it. Like I'll even have people come up to me and kind of send me text messages about, hey, what you think about this? And I'm like, you didn't care about this 3 years ago, but hey, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? People like, dang, I didn't even watch the men's Final Four this year. I was watching Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, like, you know what I mean? And I love to hear about it. I love to talk about it. I can talk about women's sports all day. So for me, it's just is well needed. It's long overdue. It's good for us. I'm really excited about it, because all I know at this point is only going to continue to trend upward. And we're going to continuously get the recognition that we deserve, and hopefully with that recognition comes more money for our coaches, more money for our women, because the pay disparity still is at a lack. I think the recognition is there. But we still got to be able to fill up stadiums. We still have to be able to fill up arenas and get those TV viewings and everything like that, and get that pay disparity cut or something, or heightened, whatever the case may be, because for men and women it's still not there. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that we'll have to continue to press for, and be a trailblazer for our women in that regard, in terms of the money that we should make, our women athletes should make. So that's just my opinion on that.
You continue to grow and progress as a player every year during your time at Jacksonville University. Kind of when you graduated, what was your goal after you had left JU, and what was the process of you transferring to Tennessee State University?
What was the first part of that question again?
What you continue to grow every year at JU. Just what was your goal after graduating? Did you have any goals? Like, what did you want to continue doing after you graduate?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to do after I left JU. Thank God we were able to be granted another year of eligibility, because I didn't know like what I was going to do, honestly. I don't know. To this day, I'm just like, man, like, I don't know. Like, I'm glad that we weren't given that extra eligibility. I had no clue as to what I would have done. But being that we were granted that extra year of eligibility, I was obviously able to go to Tennessee State. I had gotten my undergrad at JU. I just wanted something different, something new. I wanted to go to a HBCU, just to see what it was like, honestly. So in that process of me being recruited, if you will, I didn't really have to do a recruitment process. Like, I knew that I had my undergraduate degree. I did my 4 years. I just wanted to be at a place to where it just felt like me. it didn't, like, I had already went through my 5 visits. I had done that freshman recruitment thing for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that for me. I didn't want to have to go through that process again. And honestly, I just prayed about it, and see what was going to kind of happen. So I found eventually kind of got connected with Coach Todd Evans from Tennessee State, and it just literally just happened. Like, he was like, "Hey, you want to come to TSU?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, why not?" Like, you know what I mean? So I went in there, and it's probably one of the better decisions that I've made in my life. I was able to go there. It was a totally new team, and a lot of us were from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of knew some of them already as it was. It was a really good experience. I mean, they had a like a 0-22 season the year before. So, and Coach Todd came in, and we were able to kind of change the program around, one of those type of things. So, like I said, it was one of the better decisions that I made, just because of the relationships that I kind of came in contact with. Coach Todd is an amazing coach. He's like been a father figure to me. Just um, I mean, he's just been an amazing guy to me. I mean, I was just talking to him for about an hour yet the other day too. Like, it's like with me, like the anywhere I go, I want to be able to garner good relationships,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
the ball is going to eventually stop bouncing one day.
Yeah.
I always knew that for me. It was going to eventually stop bouncing. So what is it that I'm going to do to set myself up to be successful post basketball? So that was always my thing. So and having those connections with my coaches, having those connections with people in and on campus, those are really important to me. So that was just my main thing. But like I said, it was one of the better decisions I made. It was a breath of fresh air. It was so smooth, so easy. I didn't really have to do much because I already knew in my mind. I knew I wanted to go to HBCU, and at that point, it just felt like home. Like I said, we had a winning season for considerably a winning season, being that they went 0-22 the year before. But um, yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I don't really have anything to say other than that. It was a really good experience for me. I really enjoyed it.
Outside of basketball, what are some of your hobbies and things you kind of do to just kind of keep your mind fresh outside of the game of basketball?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what really kind of keeps me going is basketball, like, or just sport in general. I work for a sports company. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really see myself doing anything outside of sport. Like, I've never really kind of imagined my life outside of being around some form of competitive environment. But if you will, like something like cooking. I like cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like to just kind of be outside in nature. Like, kind of like right now, I'm outside on the balcony. So, I mean, that's really mostly what I do. But other than that, I'm probably just watching some WNBA games. Like, it's one coming on in about 30 minutes. That's probably what I'm going to do the rest of the day. But I'm really chill, honestly. I don't really do too much other than work, and probably cook and just chill. Honestly, I don't really do much. I love hanging around my family. I have a 2-year-old nephew and a 3-year-old niece, so I like being around them a lot when I can. Because when I was in school, I wasn't able to be around them a lot of the time, so I missed a lot. I missed the walking stages. I missed it. Everything was through FaceTime.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm able to kind of be home and around my family. So that's probably the bulk of what I'll do. Like, probably go out. Like, me and my brother were just throwing a baseball the other day, or we'll go to the park, and they'll probably have like a little softball game out there. We'll just be a part of it. That's kind of stuff that really excites me. But doing it with family, so that's just really what I like to do.
You were gained the opportunity to do some work with the SEC after your graduation from Tennessee State. Just talk about that opportunity and kind of what that opportunity may have opened your eyes to see in terms of what you wanted to do with your future.
Yeah, for sure. Working with the SEC was ordained. Like, for me, like, it was something that I wouldn't wanted my first professional job post college to be like nothing else. Like, I wanted to work for the SEC. I didn't know that at first, but now that I look back, I'm like, man, I worked for the best conference, arguably the best conference in the nation. Like, it was a really good experience for me. I was able to learn so much under my manager, Taylor Brazier. He was phenomenal. But just working at the conference office in general, just being in those rooms with people, having different conversations that I would never thought I had been a part of. It was extremely invaluable. Like I can't really pinpoint exactly one thing to another, but I just know what I took from there is definitely helped me in my full-time position now. They definitely take care of you there. Like I felt like a family when I was there. I uprooted, went from Nashville to Birmingham, so it was a different environment for me. It was me and another intern. We're still friends to this day, but in my role, it was a social and digital communications intern. So I was able to learn about social media, being able to market our schools. Obviously, we have 14 different, now 16 different schools, but at the time when I was working there, 14 different schools, 20 plus different sports, and we had to be on top of it, man. They talk about the standard of excellence. That's what they possess. That's why I said I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere else, because I was able to I guess what's the word I'm looking for? I guess you would say things I didn't realize that I needed to work on, so my weaknesses, if you will.
Yeah.
I was able to really, really pinpoint those, like attention to detail, was something that I needed to work on, because everything mattered working there. You know what I mean? Now looking back, I'm like, I'm keen on everything now. Just like I said, just a lot of invaluable experiences that I learned from there, and the people that I met there. Things that I never had done before. Like I was able to do all the SEC championships. You know what I mean? Like those were super, super fun. A lot of lessons learned working those championships. Like I said, I met some really good people. Like two of my mentors, like my current mentors now from the SEC, they're my mentors. So I was able to garner some mentors there. But yeah, it was an exciting experience that I'll forever remember. I'll forever thank each and every one of those people who kind of paved the way for me being in the position that I am now. It was a great experience, and I would any day, if anybody asks me would I work for the SEC or should I work for the SEC, 100%. It's just something that you don't get everywhere. So 100%, the SEC is one of the better companies for sure in the sports world. So yeah, that was a place to be for me, especially post college, learning the professional realm. It was a treat for me. So
You talked about kind of being in a lot of events, such as a lot of the SEC championships. Could you, if this makes sense, like give people a breakdown of what went into a game day for you? Like what time you had, say there's like a game at like 1:00. So what time would you like get up? What time would you get to the arena? What kind of went about your day in terms of what's going on within a game day for you?
yeah, for sure. What people don't realize, and what I didn't realize when I was an athlete, because when an athlete, you just kind of get up, you get your stuff together, and the stuff is already set up for you. You just going to hoop, or you going to do whatever it is you're there to do. But I didn't realize this. If people actually do the setting up of the event, which is I look at it and I laugh now, because I never thought about it until I had to do it, right? So yeah, like for instance with the SEC football championship at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, yeah, we have a lot of contractors and stuff like that. But once the game ends, once the game ended in 2023, we're already planning for 2024 and 2025. Like it's not something that just happens and by a blink of an eye, like ghosts put everything together. Like everybody plays a part into this, like putting the event together. We're there a week before. Like it's only one game, but we're there. If the game is on, I think the game is on Saturday. We're there on Monday.
Yeah.
Just getting everything together. It's practices, it's other things like career tours that we do for student athletes. I don't know if you can hear that but it's like beeping in the background. Hopefully that doesn't interfere. But like it's career tours that we're trying to do for our student athletes. Like it's a lot of prep that goes into a championship or a championship game or a tournament of some sort. But yeah, we're there a week before. We're kind of just getting our marketing things, what we're gonna put out, like what are our different cadences throughout the day. And then when game time starts, we're probably there. If the game is at 7, we're there hours before. Obviously, because the teams have to be there hours before, just warming up, whatever the case may be. So we're putting out pre-content about them warming up, or putting out pre-content of the coaches doing their pregame interviews. Just all that aligns. You got to do walk-ins. You got to get those videos and those pictures. You obviously have different social media platforms. So you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Instagram stories. Like, all of these things have to be fulfilled while we have the athletes there. Like, once that's over, everything is back in office. So you want to get as much content as you can, obviously, while you have the athletes there. And this is their time to really, this is our time to really show the world the athletes. That's our main goal. Like, whatever it is that we need to do to really showcase the athletes, putting as much content out, that's what we're going to do. So yeah, like I said, just probably, like, if the game at 7, we're there probably by 4, getting our content out. So it's pretty much it, honestly. It's not really so much into it, but you just have to be really dialed in, because you don't want to miss anything. You don't want to put stuff out that's not going to gain as much attention. You want to put the good stuff out. So it was good to really be a part of those different championships. Every championship was different. You have championships, you have tournaments. We had the baseball tournament in Hoover. We were in Auburn for softball. So then those were tournaments. Those weren't just one game. Those are multiple bracket games. So where 2 teams play and you have an SEC championship. So all those cadences are different in terms of, so when you put into social media platforms and stuff of that nature. And obviously we have to have our team, making sure our team, our contractors are knowing what to highlight, what video, what to get a photo of, having the post game scores and all that going out, the pregame, like, hey, this is where you tune in. Like, all those different things played into a tournament. All those different things played into championships. So it's just a matter of just kind of gaining like a secondhand nature for, like, after I started doing it, it just kind of became secondhand for me, and kind of knowing what worked and what didn't work. So it was cool for sure.
I love that. I'm a music lover, and I love to just kind of ask people what their music taste is like, who they listen to, just maybe some of their favorite songs. So I just want to ask you, who's some of your go-to artists? And as well, I want to ask, when you were playing, was your like game day playlist different than maybe your regular everyday playlist?
I probably listen to the same music, to be honest. Just like your hip hop. Probably one of my favorite artists. Favorite artist currently. I don't have a favorite artist. I will say I don't have a favorite artist anymore. As I've gotten older, I don't listen to much music. I don't be wanting to hear nothing. I just be like in tune with my thoughts. Like, I'll literally drive from Birmingham to Savannah with no music. I mostly right now listen to podcasts. More so than anything. I think I really have gotten old. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. I've gotten old. I don't want to hear too much of nothing, to be honest. But when I was hooping, for sure, like your Little Babies, your NBA YoungBoy, March Madness was one of my favorite go-to songs when I was playing. Probably Quando Rondo. He's from Savannah. So he's an artist out of Savannah. So I listened to him a lot when I was in college. Yeah, but nowadays, Dylan, I don't listen to much of music, to be honest. I've just all be like in tune with in my head about what I need to do with work and all these different things. But when I was in college, for sure, I definitely had a playlist. For sure, I probably still got the playlist. But yeah,
I feel you. Sometimes it's especially in the morning time, you just kind of need a little peace and quiet. So I definitely get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
You now work with Athletes Unlimited. Just talk about how that opportunity was brought upon you, and as well, just so far, I know you're not too far into that journey, but how has that process been for you?
Oh, it's been really good. I was at the SEC at the time, and I had just obviously it was kind of coming to my time to my internship to conclude. So obviously I had to start applying for jobs, and I honestly only applied for one job, and I got it. So I'm just kind of grateful that I didn't have to really do the whole interviewing. Like I really do not like interviews at all. Even though I obviously want to get into broadcasting and be an analyst and all that. It's like always been the interviewer.
Yeah.
But I don't really like to get interviewed. I don't like to have to do all that extra groundwork to get a job. Like I don't know. I just never really wanted to do all that, to be honest. So when I interviewed for them, it was like a four interview process. I had like 4 interviews with them, so that was like enough for me. Like I didn't want to do any. I just was hoping and praying that they hired me, and they did, by the grace of God. So I was like, great, I don't have to apply. Like I literally only interviewed for Athletes Unlimited because I've always said I wanted to work there just because I've just loved their all women sports dynamic. Like I love that. Just from afar, like I would look at their different contract jobs that they had when I was in school, like to try to do go to Dallas and do some of the games, the women's basketball games, and so it just kind of was like I'm literally living in an answered prayer right now because I always wanted to do something with them. So it's been great. It's only been about like 2 months now. We've already had one season already, our softball AUX season. One season is currently in right now, which is lacrosse. And then we'll have an overlap with that for our other softball season as well. So it's been great. I mean, it's been really good just being able to focus in on different sports that I had never covered before. Softball, lacrosse, like I never really even known much about lacrosse. So I'm learning lacrosse. Then we have volleyball as well. So being able to really highlight these athletes and their professional careers, that's been just a dream come true, honestly. And I love just how it's a non-traditional sports league as well as different. And some people like it. Like some people love it. Other people like, what's going on? Like, what is Athletes Unlimited? It's like a lot of spark around it because it's unknown. But I believe that in the next 3 to 5 years, the Athletes Unlimited is going to be one of those companies that's definitely talked about. Just because we are transitioning to different traditional leagues. And when I say traditional, it's based off like all of our seasons are based off point total. So it's like it's not a championship or anything like what you would think as a championship. It would be based off like a total of points throughout the season. So it would be like, okay, this person has the most points by the end of the season. Yes, that team won, but this person is the championship because they accumulated points based off what it was during the sport in particular. Like softball, you get different points for hitting a home run, you get points for stealing bases, you get points for bunts, like different things like that where it continuously racks up until the end of the season, and then you're granted that championship champion or whatever. So it's a different non-traditional sport league, and a lot of people is like, I'm not really, but other people are like, I get excited about it, I love it. Because it's different. And at the end of the day, we're giving athletes an opportunity to play at the highest level. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is seeing athletes be pros in what it is that they do. And they're granted those opportunities to really, excel in their sport and something that they've worked so hard for. Because it's not just football, it's not just basketball, it's not these revenue generated sports that are making noise. Now you have those other sports that people have worked for hard their whole life to play at the highest level. So I love it.
If you could have dinner with 5 people, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
5? That's a lot of people at the same setting, or like are these different settings?
Same setting.
Same settings. Okay. Same settings. Well, I already know one would be Kobe Bryant. One would be probably Candace Parker.
Okay.
5 people is crazy.
You don't have to do 5. That's just kind of the number I put out there. I know some people always kind of struggle with that 4th or 5th one.
Yeah. Let me think. I'm trying to think of people that didn't play a sport, to be honest, or didn't play basketball. um, Dang. Probably like Tyler Perry or Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Probably Steve Harvey because I've always like listened to his motivational speeches and where he came from to where he is now is super inspirational to me.
Yeah.
Um, I would say I would have to talk to Andrea Carter. I probably Andrea because I just love her. Um, that's 4 or 5. I think that's 4.
Cool.
I don't know who the last person would be, to be honest. Probably like a politician, probably like Michelle Obama or something. I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, those are probably like Kobe for sure. Um, like I said, Steve Harvey, Candace, those people. But yeah, just because I mean, obviously they're just been amazing in their own right, whatever it is, whether been comedy, basketball, just trailblazers in their communities. They've just obviously set the tone for a lot of black professionals. I mean, they did it, they're doing it, and they did it at a high level. And that's something that I've always kind of looked up to. When you talk about a Kobe Bryant, like you talk about the Mamba mentality, that's just somebody that just had it. It wasn't just told by anybody to do that. He got up every day, and obviously when you do things like that, you leave a legacy, and he did that. You know what I mean? So I want to be a pro at everything I do, and I want to be able to leave a legacy and saying that, hey, like I impact people's lives. At the end of the day, one of my favorite quotes is if you're not making somebody else's life better, you're wasting your time. So for me, I just want to be able to leave a lasting impact on individuals, and know that I gave my all into everything that I did. I left a good taste in people's mouths when it came to me, and being able to really say, hey, like give my family a better life, if you will, and kind of put them in different positions. So that's just something that I've always wanted to do, and to leave my legacy in a good way, because you write your own legacy. So I want to be able to leave it in a good way, in a positive way. So
I love that you answered that because that was actually one of the questions I was about to ask you. But instead of that, and kind of going in the same moment as well, could you give a piece of advice? I know you gave advice about young women hoopers earlier, but could you give a piece of advice to people watching or listening, just about life, like things you've been able to experience and learn? What advice would you give to someone maybe just going through a tough time right now, or going through a emotion where they're trying to figure out what they want to do in life? What advice would you just give someone watching or listening?
yeah, 100%. For me, I'm super because everybody isn't religious or spiritual, whatever the case may be. I'm everything that I've been able to do, every opportunity, every situation that I've been in, every day I wake up, it's not because of me.
Yeah.
Um, and every day I try to really harvest that and really take that into consideration each and every day. That don't you only get one day. You every day you get 24 hours to be better, to do better, and God gave you a gift. So I want to be able to utilize my gift every day, and my gifts and talents, plural, every day, some way, shape, or form. Because He didn't just give me that just to have to myself. I want to be
Yeah.
able to use my gifts and my talents to be able to help other people. So I don't like to be spirit because everybody isn't that way, but for me, that's just what it is. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
I
like.
got you.
That's just me. Like my faith is out this world. Because I know that all these opportunities that I've been granted, like I said, it wasn't because of me. It was because of my faith in God. His grace and His mercy is sufficient in my life. So honestly, it's just been Him I owe it all to.
Yeah.
So if you're going through a tough time, I mean, I would just pray about the situation, pray what it is that you need, what it is that you would want Him to do for you. Because my one of my favorite scriptures is ask, seek, knock, and the door shall be open. So ask for it is what you want. That's what He wants you to do. Seek whatever it is. Well, don't be don't play small ball. Like God, He's gonna give you more than what you could ever imagine or dreamed of. So dream big. Seek
Yeah.
whatever, seek His face, and He will give you whatever that you could imagine. And then knock, and the door shall be open. When He doesn't say when, He doesn't say when He's gonna do it, but ultimately if you put in the work, it's gonna come to you. It may not come to you exactly how you wanted it to, but it's going to come to you to a way that is beneficial for you.
Yeah.
And everybody's path is different. Everybody's journey is different. I'm 25 right now, and there's so much stuff that I want to do, and there's so much stuff that I wish I should have did or could have. I'm like, man, where I'm at right now is exactly where I'm supposed to be by the grace of God. So that's just kind of my like, it's not testimony. Everybody have their own testimony.
Mm-hmm.
I just know whose I am and whose I'll forever be. So knowing who you are as an individual and who you are as a person, that'll get you far in life, because you wake up every day, you don't know if you're gonna wake up.
Yeah.
That's because He woke you up. So y'all want to be able to use like I said, my gifts and talents and abilities to be able to pay it forward and pay it back to those who've come in contact with me and those who will in the future. So and leave my mark that way. So that's kind of what my goals are, or what I live by. So
Thank you for sharing that, because I know it takes kind of a lot of courage to share stuff like that, especially just kind of religious wise. So I appreciate you for doing that, because you don't have to. But I love it because that's kind of how I devote my life to. So thank you for sharing that. And I want to ask you one thing before I kind of wrap up. I know you're kind of just getting your feet wet in this career with, what you want with Athletes Unlimited, but do you have an end goal? Is there somewhere that you kind of, aspire to be at a certain point, or right now you just kind of focusing on where you are right now, just taking it one day at a time?
yeah, man, just honestly right now for me, like I'm always trying to go above and beyond everything that I do, and try to strive for more, as we all should do. Never
Yeah.
saying that you shouldn't do that, but right now I think I'm just really being present and working. You can be present and working. I think that's what kind of where I am. I'm not trying to look to the future. I think I'm just really stuck in the now, because I've always
Yeah.
just been like, dang, I gotta figure out something to do. I'm good. I'm good
Yeah.
right now. Like I'm only 2 months in. Like, I don't I'm still learning. Like I want to learn more so than anything, as opposed to, like, you can get somewhere and you can say you want to do this and you want to do that. You get there, you don't know what to do
Yeah.
because you didn't learn anything. Like I want to be able to learn and grow as not only as a professional but as a person, and figure out what it is that makes me happy. Figure out what it is that I ultimately want to do, because so many facets of life that you like. It's not just being a professional.
Yeah.
It's not just succeeding. It's like being a great aunt, being a great daughter, being a great cousin, or whatever the case may be. Like it's not just being the best successful in your profession. Like that's
Yeah.
not all of what it is to life. So I think right
Agreed.
now I'm just being present, and like I said, taking in those responsibilities of being an aunt, being a sister, being a good daughter, and all those things for me right now. But obviously, I look forward to the future as well, in terms of broadcasting. Want to be a color analyst. Different opportunities have come to me for that as well. So hopefully, just keeping the ball rolling, in what it is that he has for me. Like I talked about previously, because what is for me won't miss me, and if it did, it's not for me, and if it did, it may come back, because well, you know what I mean. So I just prophetically believe that nothing that's for me will miss me. So I just got to be diligent in the work that I do and the connections that I make, to get me where it is that I want to go. But right now, like I said, I'm present in the now.
Yeah.
And I've never been there I've never been like that in my life right now. So I think I like it. So,
Yes, man. Well, thank you. Whether you believe it or not, your words will help someone throughout their day, their life, their career, whatever it is. So I appreciate you for sharing what you have said today, because it's helped me a little bit. And so I want to say thank you for your words. Thank you for joining me today. And we pray and wish the best on everything that your future endeavors has for you as well, Miss
I
Alexis.
appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and follow Miss Alexis on social media as well. She will be tagged and added on everything as well when we get ready to drop it. Make sure you guys follow her as well. Take care, y'all. Soon, season 4 will be done. Keep much love, y'all. God bless everyone.